deadly weapon. It's like
Okay.
handles the-
We're in session and calls numbers 325-676, calls number 330-862. First case, the style of the state of Texas. The first case, which is calls number 325-676, is style of the state of Texas versus Trenton Fabian Boudreaux. Second case, calls number 330-862, is style of the state of Texas versus Trenton Boudreaux. Mr. Boudreaux, is your full name Trenton Fabian Boudreaux?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Boudreaux, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Boudreaux, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Boudreaux, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Boudreaux?
Doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Boudreaux, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Charles McIntosh. Mr. McIntosh, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. McIntosh, do you waive a record in Mr. Boudreaux's cases?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Boudreaux, in calls number 325-676, information is styled the state of Texas versus Trent Fabian Boudreaux. It alleges that on or about November 23rd of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Second, this information further alleges that prior to the commission of this offense, that you, Trenton Fabian Boudreaux, on January 20th of 2000, in County Code at Law number 3 of Jefferson County, Texas, in clause number 329383, that you was convicted of the misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated, and that conviction became final before the commission of this offense. Is that true or not true?
True, sir.
Mr. Broussard, excuse me, Mr. Boudreaux, to this offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Freely, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Because I am guilty.
Mr. Boudreaux, excuse me, yeah, Mr. Boudreaux, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials, TB, on the line next to box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is titled the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that is titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. We have that discovery certificate?
Yes, Judge. I believe you're on 325 first.
Yes. Now, Mr. Boudreaux, I have before me a document that is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Boudreaux, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did your attorney, Mr. McIntosh, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir. They are.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 is admitted. Mr. McIntosh, you advised and counseled Mr. Boudreaux. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Boudreaux, your attorney, Mr. McIntosh, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Boudreaux, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers are freely and voluntarily given. I also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
Your Honor, the agreement is 45 days
Do you have a waiver?
jail
get his affidavit.
With jail to begin on this day, not later than 6 p.m. today. And that sentence will run concurrently with the plea in 330-862.
Mr. Boudreaux, the state is offering that you serve 45 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You will be given credit for any time that you are entitled to get by law. Now, Mr. Boudreaux, the court cost in this case is $387. Will you be able to pay the $387?
Can I do it in payment?
No, would you be able to pay it today?
Okay, it's in now. You don't have to lie.
Okay, you won't be able to pay it? Okay, now, Mr. Boudreaux, let me do this. Mr. McIntosh, could you
Yes, sir.
show this to Mr. Boudreaux? Is that the only one that had in there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that was in one case or both cases?
That was just in one, the 325-676.
They had one in the other case?
No, sir.
Okay.
So your rent's 400. You pay 220, or you get 221. You still go into G-Tech training?
When was this?
You finished it? Okay, but you're not working because you're gonna be in custody.
July 28th.
So you're making about $600 a week?
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Judge, he's still making about $600 a week.
Okay, Mr. Boudreaux, I have before me a document that is titled Financial Affidavit. And recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on this document?
Yes.
Now, is everything in this document true and correct? Everything is still true and correct today? Your finances are still the same
Yes, sir.
as here? Okay. So, Mr. Boudreaux, previously the court found that you met the eligibility requirements for the appointment of attorney, for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney because you was found to be indigent. The court is going to make that same finding in this case. And with that finding, what that basically means is, Mr. Boudreaux, that the court cost in this case is going to be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Now, Mr. Boudreaux, I'll just recite state's offering is 45 days in Jefferson County Jail. You'll be given credit for any time that you're entitled to get by law. The court cost in this case of $387 will be waived because the court is finding that you're indigent and it's going to be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 of Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Mr. Boudreaux, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Boudreaux, your jail time is going to begin today at about 6 p.m. and cause number 330-862 will be dismissed. No,
Judge.
this case will run concurrent, with cause number 330-862. Now, here it is. Now, Mr. Boudreaux, we'll move on to your next case, which is cause number 330-862. And in that case, Mr. Boudreaux, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about August 21st of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Second, this information further alleges that prior to the commission of this offense, that you, Trenton Boudreaux, on January 20th of 2020, in the County Court of Law number 3 of Jefferson County, Texas, in cause number 209383, that you were convicted for the misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated, and that conviction became final prior to the commission of this offense. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And to this offense of driving while intoxicated, second, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty,
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
freely and voluntary.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Now, Mr. Boudreaux, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. Let me do this for you. Now, let me just say, Mr. Boudreaux, this is a Class A misdemeanor, but it's a DWI second. And so do I have your permission to change the, to reflect what it properly is?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I'll just read it to you. It says driving while intoxicated, second. Class A misdemeanor confinement in jail for term for at least 30 days, but not to exceed 1 year, a fine not to exceed $4,000 or both such confinement and fine, a conviction resulting in community supervision. That is, if you got probation, at least 72 hours, continuous hours, or 5 days in jail. Drug, alcohol evaluation, rehabilitation, payment for costs, rehabilitation program, completion of program for repeat alcohol and drug offenders, completion of alcohol education program, and installation of interlock device in his or her vehicle. That is if he would have got probation. Now, do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm gonna go back to the previous case, and actually, I need to make that change on that previous case as well. Do I have your permission to do that as
Yes,
well?
sir.
All right. Now, on page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials TB on the line that is checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
And on page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is trial court certification defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant? There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant? Now, Mr. Boudreaux, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did your attorney, Mr. McIntosh, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir. They true and correct.
State, I have before me states exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer states 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No objections. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. McIntosh, you advised and counseled Mr. Boudreaux in this case. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Boudreaux, your attorney, Mr. McIntosh, has advised and counseled you in this case. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Boudreaux, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State,
Yes, Your
do
Honor.
we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, the agreement is for 45 days in jail to begin, that sentence to begin today, not later than 6 p.m. And that sentence also to run concurrently with the 45 days in jail on case number 325676.
Okay, now, Mr. You have it, ready?
Both of them on.
Thank you. Mr. Mr. Boudreaux, the state is offering that you serve 45 days in Jefferson County Jail. You'll be given credit for any time that you're entitled to get by law. The court cost in this case is $407, but you would not have to pay that because the court is finding that you are indigent, and the court cost is going to be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedures. And your jail time, 45 days, will begin today at or before 6 p.m. In this case, will run concurrent with cause number 325676. Mr. Boudreaux, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Boudreaux, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Boudreaux, you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney. You're gonna follow the directions of our court clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day and you have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Hi, Mr. Beaver. Can I get
Yeah, that's the
your right
craziest
thumbprint
thing
on the
that
blue light, please?
You can have an appointed
Can I get
client,
the right thumbprint on that blue light?
but then if you plea them to jail time, they have to sit out
Thank
their
you.
court costs too. It's the craziest thing. It's like we've already said, indigent, they still gotta sit out
Yeah.
as long as it's waived, and we waived it in this case.
Yeah, but
But if we didn't-
I'm just saying, sometimes their situation changes. They may be.
Oh, their financial situation, yeah, but like if